everyone, welcome to another episode of the Adam and Chris Show. I'm St. Adam.
And I'm Chris Malice.
And today, let's talk a little about a topic we can all relate to. With Disney Plus being out there now, everyone can get caught up on Disney properties. So I think it's only appropriate to talk about the top 10 Disney villains. Because as we all know, they really help make the movies memorable. You need a great villain to make your hero look more heroic.
That is true.
This was kind of a hard list. We looked at all Disney properties, not just strictly movies.
And that's Disney properties,
Yeah,
not Star Wars bought by Disney or Marvel. This is just Disney shit.
Disney proper. I don't even think we put any Pixar in here.
No.
But hard list to make. So we did. There's some runners up that we're going to mention. We're not going to.
And
really,
it might surprise you.
You know, like the runners up, unfortunately, could not make this list. Were Ursula from The Little Mermaid, Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians, the Shadow Man from The Princess and the Frog, Don Carnage from Tailspin.
Don Carnage is fucking hilarious.
He is. Just unfortunately, we had 10 spaces to work with. He didn't make the cut. And the Headless Horseman from The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
No, right. Those are pretty decent runner-ups.
Those are. So, without further ado, Chris, why don't you tell everyone who our number 10 is?
Number 10, Ratigan from The Great Mouse Detective. Fucking awesome villain, voiced by Vincent Price. When you think of like cartoon villain, take an animated animal and mix it with Dr. Moriarty from Sherlock Holmes. Boom, right there.
And voice him by Vincent Price.
Fantastic.
It's funny because he's so sophisticated through most of the film. You kind of see he has some anger issues. They pop out here and there. But at the end when he just says fuck it and blows that fuck you fuse.
Yep.
And becomes a beast.
Awesome. One of my personal favorite, probably my second or third favorite Disney movie villain. Disney villain.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Who you got for number 9?
At number 9, I have Jafar from Aladdin.
Ooh.
Jafar, and I'll say Jafar from the animated Aladdin. I thought from the live action one, Jafar was actually the weakest part of that film. But no, Jafar and Aladdin, such a slimy villain. Everything he says just sounds sinister. He can make just basic words sound sinister. Mm-hmm. And the way they animate him, the way he walks, he just kind of like slithers across the room before he turns into an actual snake and slithers across the room.
Yeah.
He's a despicable human being.
And again, he's trying to get with Jasmine to get power.
To become the Sultan.
Mm-hmm.
And he just wanted everything. He wanted the world.
There you go.
He could have been a Disney princess because that's what they want. They want more.
Yeah. True. So, who else do we got after Jafar? We got Damona from Gargoyles, baby. Damona from Gargoyles.
Not only is she a great villain in the atrocities that they show she commits, and because she's immortal, basically, like she's tied to Macbeth, and so they're both immortal. The only way one can die is if the other dies. But Damona is also this. You feel bad because she's kind of a tragic villain.
Yeah. You sympathize with her.
You sympathize with her a little bit, but not all the way because she's trying to commit genocide against humans.
Yep. So Gargoyles is a great show. If you have Disney Plus, it should be something you've either already watched or you're about to watch. Awesome show. Who played her voice? Wasn't it Dr. Dana Troy?
It was Deanna Troy from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
It wasn't the doctor.
No, it wasn't the doctor.
Was she the psychiatrist?
Yeah, she was more the psychiatrist, the counselor, and everything like that. Oh my gosh, you caught me, Maria. Oh, what's the actress's name?
Because number 1 played the voice of the other baddie on Gargoyles.
There were a lot of baddies on Gargoyles.
All right.
But you're thinking of Xanatos.
David Xanatos.
But we're getting away from Damona. Mm-hmm. Because it's great, because the Gargoyles never had names, and hers was given to her by humans. And I remember the great reveal when, in that first arc, when She reveals herself to be a villain. It's like the humans gave me a name a long time ago, too. Damona. And she sounds so demonic when she says it. I'm like, oh, shit. It's about to get real.
All right.
Okay. At number 7, we got probably just a really creepy villain. The Coachman from Pinocchio. You may not know him by name, but you've seen that face. That guy that convinces them to bring all the little boys to Pleasure Island. And then
Wow!
I know we're going to Jeffrey Epstein territory.
Wow!
Or was it Kevin Spacey?
Ooh!
And then he turns them into donkeys and sells them. And I'll never forget. I mean, he's not in the movie a whole lot, but that is such a horrible plan. And horrible as in despicable, not horrible as in like, oh, I'm buying real estate to make glue, and then you can huff the glue and get high. I mean, like, no.
No, it's fucked up.
It's fucked up. And that scene where Lampwick starts turning into a donkey, as a kid, like, that just traumatized me. At like 3 or 4, you're watching that like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's vile.
It is vile. So, I mean, you can't say a whole lot about the Coachman because, again, wasn't in the movie a whole lot, but holy shit, what, just that plan, that fucking plan.
Yeah.
You couldn't even think this shit up, right?
I wonder what kind of good drugs there are. The original writer, because it's based on a fairy tale, so the original fairy tale's got to be fucked up. Because if you look at the Hunchback of Notre Dame, that fairy tale was originally that story's.
How the Little Mermaid ends, the fairy tale is so fucked up.
If the Coachman is something that Disney either had to neuter or created, somewhere someone's on some fucking drugs. And it's gotta be good shit.
That could be.
All right.
Number 6,
we have Maleficent. Oh man, we put her down low on the list. We're gonna get some hate, but oh well, fuck it, I don't care.
It's our list.
So what? Maleficent, great villain.
Very good villain, really. I mean, the only reason she's number 6 is because we felt the next 5 were just better.
Well, here's the thing with Maleficent.
I'm going to go Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty, the animated one, and the Angelina Jolie one. You're meant to sympathize with her a little more, and I like her just being the avatar of evil that she was.
Yeah, I like that too.
To me, she was the best thing about that one because I'm like, most of the characters are pretty cardboard.
Yeah, well, Sleeping Beauty's boring as fuck.
Aurora doesn't have much of a... She has your typical princess personality. The prince has no personality. The kings are kind of funny because they're willing to go to war with each other because they got drunk together. They were just taking everything they said the wrong way.
We've never done anything.
The 3, guardian fairies just... I mean, I think it'd been funny if you based them more off the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they were kind of a watered-down version of that. So all that movie really had that caught my attention as a kid was Maleficent.
I agree.
And she turned into a dragon. Mm-hmm. You gotta love that. She was so, oh, I didn't get invited to a birthday party, so I'm going to kill your daughter.
I mean, that escalated quickly.
That escalated very quickly.
Okay.
But, I mean, I guess that helps make a good villain.
Yeah. Yeah.
No fucks to give.
Well, I mean, I'm fine with that.
Right. So, Maleficent, you're number 6.
No.
At number 5, we got a character that actually reminds me of you. You kind of look like him, too. Barbosa from Pirates of the Caribbean.
I like Barbosa.
I like Barbosa, too. I mean, look, he's in most of the movies. I think he's the only one he's not in until the very end is the second one. But... how evil he is in the first one. How do they describe him? A man so evil, hell spit him back out?
Yep.
I mean, that's such a cool tagline for a villain, because then that will make your heroes look more heroic.
He was well played by Jeffrey Rush.
Jeffrey Rush played him. And in the third one, he has to work with Jack Sparrow, and they're both trying to, say, I'm captain of the ship and one-up each other. I love that. I know some people didn't, but it just showed how petty both of them can be. And those pirates work when they're petty.
Yeah, yeah.
And then in the fourth one, you still got a lot of that. He's missing a leg now because, Blackbeard took his ship. He had to cut his own leg off to escape. So he kind of has a grudge going. In the fifth one, have you seen the fifth one?
No, I stopped after 3.
Oh, in the fifth one, he turns out he has a daughter. And as evil as he is in that, he still has a redeeming moment at the end. I won't spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it, but
I do like
such a fun villain. I mean, he's not one of those villains where you see him and you're like, he doesn't have a personality. He obviously has a personality. He's not one of these villains where like you see him, you're like, oh gosh, quit talking, like Superboy Prime, right?
Yeah.
So he's a fun villain, but still a threat. And I think that's what really helps especially with Disney villains, makes them work so well.
Yeah. I prefer the more ill-redeeming villains, but we got one of those guys on this list. Don't worry.
All right, well, number 4.
Number 4, Hades.
From Hercules. One of my favorite villains.
He's not so... Well, is he redeeming? I mean...
No, he's not redeeming at all. There's nothing redeeming about him.
He's not as vile as some of the other characters, but...
Well, I mean, let's see. Let me abduct my brother's baby, have my minions try to murder him, because he may stop my grand scheme of overthrowing the cosmos.
He might be misunderstood.
He's also Lord of the Underworld and gets off on torturing souls.
Well, you don't see him actually getting off and torturing souls unless you go to certain dark areas.
You don't know what happens under that robe. It's all, slithery. Don't go to like DeviantArt trying to look that up. But no, I mean, voiced wonderfully by James Woods, who did a very unique take on the character. He could have made him all dark and menacing and threatening, but he played him like a sleazy Hollywood agent.
Probably because he got fucked over by a sleazy.
Right. I mean, it works so well the way he played him. He's funny but still threatening. I love how he has 2 minions who, because they're, like imps or demons or whatever, he can abuse the shit out of them. And you're not going to feel bad. No one's going to say that's too violent. Like, he burns them to a crisp. And they'll heal because they're magic, but no one's like, oh, I feel bad for Pain and Panic. So, Hades, I think I love every moment he's on the screen.
Hades at number 4. Number 3.
Number 3, we got Scar from The Lion King. What can we say about Scar that hasn't been said before?
He killed Mufasa?
He's one of the few characters that killed a main character. Voiced so well by Jeremy Irons. Just that sly, sleazy voice he has. It's like Venom. Not the character Venom, but his voice sounds like pure venom. Everything he says is just poisonous. You might not even know it's infecting you until it's too late. The way they animate him with the goatee, he just looks kind of sickly.
Kind of looks like he got kicked out of a 90s grunge band.
Yeah.
He was a lion.
Yeah, for all those lion grunge bands from the 90s.
Hey.
He has a fun villain song. Like Kane said, he turned hyenas into Nazis. That has to be some kind of accomplishment.
Well, be prepared. Great song.
Yeah, just fun. Although, I will say, Scar. You see Scar before and after. After he gets what he wants, he's just kind of boring until Simba shows up. But then again, to convince a cub that he killed his own father, Andrew Dice Clay said it best. Scar's a cocksucker for doing that. And I gotta agree. I mean, I murdered your dad, but look what you did. I know nobody means for this to happen. I'm like, damn you, Scar. Damn you.
That's great. I love that.
He's such a scumbag. And speaking of scumbags,
my guy at number 2, Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yeah, motherfucker.
Okay, why is he so high on the list?
Oh, because he's just fucking vile. All right, where do we start? The fact
at the beginning.
He tries to kill a woman and her kid.
He does kill the woman.
He kills the woman, tries to kill the kid. He's about to throw the kid down a fucking well.
Well, the church was never
for
really
kids
big on pro-life.
For kids.
Yeah.
He's going to do it.
He's going to drown this ugly baby.
Ugly baby down the well for kids. All right, so that's part one. This comes in many parts.
Well, who's he work for?
The Catholic Church. No. Who cares who he works for? He works for himself. He's evil as fuck.
Well, right, but I'm just going to say he's the villain and he's working for the church.
Yeah.
You don't really see that much in these type of films.
Disney kind of, it seems like, because I believe in the original story, Frollo was like a friend of Hunchback and his
Not anymore.
Yeah, and this, the redesign of the character and stuff.
Who voices him?
I don't remember. They did because he wasn't real famous. I just remember, his voice was intimidating as fuck. And you can tell when the Hunchback gets that kind of, clemency or whatnot to go live in the tower. Every time he Sanctuary. Every time he visits he
treats Quasimodo, but he treats him like he's his butler.
Yeah, like a butler or a bastard son. So there's another thing. He wants to massacre all the
Romanis?
Yeah, like crazy. There's a scene where he picks up a rock and they're talking about, well, what do you want to do to all of them? There's all these insects. And he stomps on them. It's like that. So it's like, oh, so he's a madman too. And then the last part, the reason he's after the main female character is because he lusts after her.
He wants to do her, but because that's a sin, it's her fault.
Yeah,
it's her fault.
It's her fault that he wants to hump her hard. Then
she doesn't want to fuck him back.
When he has her about to be put to death by him, he's offering for her to give herself to him, and he'll let her live. And that's on top of all that. And then he has,
he was a Renaissance version of Harvey Weinstein.
I will say he was like he has one of the best fucking villain songs in Hellfire. The fact that this family friendly movie, he's singing about how he lusts for this woman, and he'll take it on the fires of hell to do it. Fucking best villain in Disney.
How does he die? How does he die?
Oh, he falls into a fire. Big bunch of fire, falls off a building. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like he descends into hell.
Yeah. Everything about him.
Sins.
In fact, I'll be honest. Everything with Hunchback of Notre Dame is either okay. He's the best fucking thing in that movie. That is my favorite Disney film.
We got Jason Alexander as a gargoyle.
That's not nearly as amusing as this guy.
Okay, well, I mean, so we've named off some vile, twisted individuals. So who could be at number one? Who is more vile and twisted than 9 other characters?
All right, you ready?
That would have to be, and this may come as a surprise to you, but we will explain why. Negaduck.
From Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck. It would have to be Negaduck. Because if you watch those episodes, he's homicidal. He's psychopathic. He's sociopathic.
He's a narcissist. He's egomaniac.
He's an engine of destruction.
If they put him off the rails, if they took him off the fucking chain, who knows how fucking crazy. He was on a kid's show, so I think there's less.
But there was still, okay, there's an episode with Negaduck. He's dressed as Darkwing. He's at the movie theater. He's seeing some movie like Bambi or whatever. He's like, what's this? I want guns and explosions. And like this character on the screen, because it is, cartoon, talks back to him like, well, this is a nice family picture. He's like, not anymore, it's not. Reaches out and pulls out a double-barrel shotgun, to which the character on screen's like, look out, he's got a gun! And he starts just shooting the screen. When he captured all of Darkwing's friends,
The Switch.
He, creates death traps. He buys bombs wholesale. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that episode? He brought the city to its knees how many times?
Well, he
waged war on society because he was no longer public enemy number one.
Uh.
He does, pull jobs to get, money and whatever, but he's really just after destruction and mayhem. You can't reason with Negaduck. You can't buy him off. You just have to hope you survive.
Yeah.
There's an episode where Darkwing, his daughter becomes a masked hero called the Quiverwing Quack, I think. And she sneaks out, to go after Negaduck. When Darkwing finds out, he freaks out. You don't see him act that way about any other villain except Negaduck, because
he's his Joker.
He's his Joker. He's his mirror image, because he's Darkwing from another dimension. He's the negative version of Darkwing, so Negaduck. Even has like a reverse color pattern on his outfit.
Yellow, black, and red.
Yeah. It just has the coolest villain voice of all time.
Voiced by?
Jim Cummings. And it's so evil and so cool at the same time.
Who else did Jim Cummings voice?
Winnie the Pooh! So,
another go-to. Who else did he voice in a video game, Jim Cummings?
Oh, the Terror Mask from Splatterhouse. Not a Disney property, but...
Oh, well, I don't care. That fucking game's good.
But the amount of blood you have in that game would be if you let Negaduck off the leash and they just said, we'll do a adult Negaduck cartoon.
It'd practically be a snuff film.
Right. So, there you have it. 10 characters with Negaduck leading the pack. If that's a team coming after humanity, we don't have a prayer.
That's true.
So, now that we're at the end of the video, time to recommend something worth checking out. Chris?
Look, so if you have Disney Plus, I don't, but if you have Disney Plus and you haven't watched the Darkwing Duck series, you need to. Darkwing Duck and Gargoyles. Hands down. I stole your recommendation, didn't I?
No.
Okay, thank God.
I mean, I didn't really have one in mind, but I'll roll with it since we're talking about Disney Plus. Go on there, check out any of these. All these villains are great. They really help boost the movies. If the movie's kind of just okay, like he said, he thought everything else in Hunchback was okay. I thought Sleeping Beauty was boring, but we have Maleficent to make it entertaining.
Here's another thing I want to bring up about Hunchback I have to fucking address.
Of course.
That whole movie's about self-image and how he needs to get over the fact that he's fucking ugly and all that type of stuff.
Way to put it, Chris.
He don't get the bitch at the end. They created a character. They created a boring, blonde fucking dude.
From the mouths of poets, we have summed up the point of Hunchback of Notre Dame so poetically, so intelligently. We have broken it down.
There you go. There you go. Well, that's show, I guess.
Well, while Chris has his mental breakdown, be sure to check us out on Twitter and on Facebook. And be sure to leave a comment in the comment sections down below if there's anyone that you think should have been on this list. If you did a top 10 list, let us know who's on there. Tell us why. I'd love to know. He'll still be laughing at me. On the Adam and Chris Show, I'm St. Adam.
I'm Chris Malice.
Have a good one.